Good morning, friends. It's Sunday morning. This is November 5th, and we are doing the 44-week update on my 1,000-pound challenge. And that challenge is to divert 1,000 pounds of household garbage back to my garden and to my worms, to my compost pile, anywhere but in the trash and down the garbage disposal. So come along with me, if you will, and let me explain to you that when we're doing worms and we're raising worms and we're also building a compost pile, that we need both carbon and nitrogen. And some of the things that I'm saving are my fruit and vegetable peels. Now I've put this out because I already used my fruit and vegetable peels, and I dehydrated them and made this. This is what they look like dehydrated. This is what they look like fresh. That's a banana fresh. This is the banana peel once it's been dehydrated. And then once it's been pulverized, that's what it looks like. Orange is the same. I happen to have a, can I pull it out there? Oh, those are strawberries. Oh, no, it isn't. This was oranges. I'm making a cranberry relish, and I use orange rind in with it. And of course, it takes on that color of the cranberries. But I dehydrated it, and I thought, boy, the worms would just love that. I mean, it's really hard, but the worms would love it. Anyway, so that's that. You can add eggshells. If you don't have a way of processing your eggshells, I think you can see that mine are just about powdered. I have a coffee grinder and for coffee beans, and so I put that in there, and it just makes it really, really fine. I use those in my worms because worms don't have they don't have teeth, and they don't have a stomach. They have a gizzard and a crop. So, but if you don't have that, and all you have is just yourself, you can grind it like this and put it out in your garden, and it will add calcium back to your garden. Of course, it's always good for the worms because it helps them digest their food. It comes out in their castings, which is their poop, and then that goes into your garden. But if you don't have anything like that, do you have a rolling pin? Put this in a paper bag or a plastic bag and use your rolling pin over it. If you don't have a rolling pin, take a soda bottle or take a can and roll a can over it. It'll break it up, honest. The more surface you give something, the quicker it will be broken down and absorbed back into Mother Earth. So here's some that I dehydrated, and I'm keeping them in the freezer until I actually need them. On the nitrogen side, of course, we have things like coffee grounds and the coffee filters. I tell you this every time, I think, that this goes great at the bottom of a pot. It keeps the soil from running out. If you have anything stale, like your cereals, crackers, breads, tortilla chips, anything along those lines, and you're going to throw it out, you can throw it into your worm bin, or you can throw it into your compost. Grind it up. You can put it into some soil. It'll break it down. On this side, where we have our carbon, we have things like leaves. I was just in Williamsburg, Virginia. Let me just toss this over here. There we go. And I brought back some beautiful leaves. And because I haven't been up north for several years, it reminded me of the beautiful variety of trees that you folks in the north have. These beautiful oak trees and maple trees. We have trees here in Florida They're beautiful, but we don't have this particular type. So I had to bring them back as my little mementos. Um, shredded paper. If your shredder gets kind of choked up with this, put in a couple pieces of regular paper or a piece of cardboard and it'll push it right through. Always a good idea. You can save your corks. Corks are a natural fiber. I mean, they're a natural substance and they can break down in the earth, as well as things like popsicle sticks, your toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, all of that. I did bring back a little joke here. Our friend Patrick over at Vermicompost Learn by Doing, he sent me a message and said they'd been up north and he forgot to bring back leaves. He said, don't forget to bring back leaves. So for the entire 4 days we were in Williamsburg, I kept picking up leaves and going, this one's for Patrick. He asked me to bring back leaves. So as you can see, Patrick, I brought you back quite a few leaves. All joking aside, someone else asked if I was going to use these in my worm bins. And I said, well, I really don't have that many. Once you break it down, it's really going to be very tiny. But I do have two small worm bins, Dick and Jane. They're just little shoe boxes. And I thought, boy, wouldn't these be great for Dick and Jane? They would just love to have that color added. So anyway, that was about all I'm doing. And hang on just 1 second. Hello again. Here we are. It's Sunday. Everybody's worried about the football game. I know. I'm not, but everyone else is. Anyway, this is week 44. 8 weeks left in this challenge. I'm so pleased. But last week, of course, we were on vacation and we only got almost 6 pounds, 5 pounds, 13 ounces. So, this week I had to really kick it up a notch and took care of that, and we go right into November and picked up where we left off, which is always a good way, isn't it? No matter what you're doing. So, of course, we got back Sunday and it was just, fall into bed. And, but my friend Brian brought down his grass clippings, and bless his heart, he had 37 pounds of grass clippings. Woo-hoo, thank you, Brian. And so for this week, with his clippings and with, I had another neighbor, my neighbor across the street, who's been saving her cardboard for me. They were on a trip, and she brought back a whole bunch of stuff with her that they were like weeks vacation. So she had just over 7 pounds of cardboard added to what we have, and we ended up getting 64 pounds, 0.5 ounces. So added to our 1,608 pounds that we had before, we now have 1,672 pounds and half an ounce. So keeping with who is on top and who's still in the running for this, Gary over at GBL 5 Acre Homestead, he and Miss Betty guessed 1,870 pounds, so they're still in the running. Let's see, who else do we have? Juani, I think she's out in Arizona, and she guessed 1,700. Jane at Rock and Worms down in southeast Florida, Lake Okeechobee, she's an hour and something from me. She said 17 pounds. I'm sorry, Jane said 1,835 pounds, forgive me there. Nick in England said 2,000 pounds. Boy, break my back. Sandra said 1,800. So those are the folks who are still in it. And one last one is Joe, Joe's Outdoor Place, and he said 1,680. And so to knock him off my list, I just have to get another 8 pounds. So anyway, that was it. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I am. It's getting down to the end. I never thought I'd get this far. people have asked if I'm going to do 2,000 ponds next year. I really think we probably could. There's, I start looking at myself and going, I threw that away. All my tissues that I throw away. Um, Sandra at Nana's Worms and Garden says, "Give them to the worms. They love it. They'll like it." So anyway, that was it. That's all I wanted to say to you this week. I hope everybody has a great week. I hope you'll come back next week. Lots going on in the garden. I'm planting and getting my winter garden started. So take care, everybody. Remember, get out there and garden what you've got. Bye-bye.